Good morning, Vietnam. This is not a test. This is rock and roll. Time to rock it from the Delta to the DMZ. My name is Richard Ciuzio, and I am with Hudson United Mortgage live here on the Phoenix National Network, streaming on your Amazon and Roku devices. You can download the apps for free on your Android or iPhone device. You can watch us on Facebook or on our YouTube channel as well. Today, I am here to talk to you about entrepreneurship as a mortgage broker. So, a little bit about myself. My name is once again Richard Ciuzio. I am with Hudson United Mortgage. I am a loan officer and mortgage loan originator, licensed in the states of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Florida. And I'm based out of We're in Westchester County and in Rockland County as well. I work in Elmsford. I live in Yonkers. So, um, if you have any questions, ever want a free consultation or anything like that, I am available pretty much 7 days a week. You can reach me at area code 321-634-2552. That's my cell phone. Or you can shoot me a quick email. I'm very responsive at richard.cusio@hudsonunited.com. 20 years ago, if anybody were to ask me if I was going to be working in the banking or mortgage industry, I would have laughed right in their face. I would have been like, "You're crazy, you're bonkers, and you're bananas. Why don't you guys get together and have a good time? Because that ain't for me." But as you know, life has a funny way of throwing a curveball at you every so often. And it took I took my sweet time finding my path, but my journey in life, I believe, and the path that life brought me down led me here. And now I am here as a mortgage broker, previously in the banking industry, but now I'm working with Hudson United, and I've never been happier. You know, um, I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I love what I do, and I have fun doing it. There's a lot of shit that you'll put up with on a day-to-day basis, but all it takes is one phone call from a father, a borrower, whoever it might be, a mother, um, calling you up, crying on the phone, and thanking you because you helped them get your house. And that to me is one of the most rewarding feelings. It makes all those other bad days just disappear. And and uh, and it's one of the most amazing things that I could ever, just express myself. It's really rewarding. When that happened to me, I started crying. So that being said, um, the primary function as a mortgage broker or a loan officer, as I am, is to bring people together who want to borrow money and buy real estate. We're bringing them together with the lending institutions. We're qualifying them to ultimately purchase their home and maybe their future home, the home of their dreams, whatever it might be, or an investment property or a secondary home. But my task, which highlights my character and I believe what makes me stand out, is that I educate the borrowers on the qualification process, the loan process, the closing costs, the do's and the don'ts of the industry. There are a lot of things that people or borrowers are unaware of, when it comes to the loan process. And I like to educate them. I want to educate them on these traits, and provide helpful tidbits. But more importantly, the fact that I'm extremely responsive and will hold their hands and walk them through the entire process from start to finish, I think is what makes me stand out as a mortgage loan originator, for myself. So, why a mortgage broker over a direct lender, you say? Well, that's a very good question. Direct lenders are stuck with whatever's in their disposal. They can't move around. They don't have much flexibility. Sometimes when it comes to customer service, the flexibility is not there. Maybe the interest rate isn't there. Maybe their time to close, that the timetable for closing isn't there, or the location, maybe their locality. But I'll give you an example. I had this client we closed a couple of weeks ago. She's based out of New Jersey. We sent her loan to one lender, and I was having underwriting issues for certain problems, and we just couldn't see eye to eye. It was recommended to me that I pull the loan, bring it somewhere else. Brought it somewhere else, got an approval 36 hours later, and we closed in 20 days. And that's the kind of leverage and flexibility I have as a mortgage broker. If I don't like what somebody's doing on over in one institution, I could pull that loan and move it to a different institution. Better customer service, faster timetable, better interest rate all around. And we got the loan closed. It was less headache in the long run, and the customer was just, she was ecstatic and blown away by the timetable that it took us to close this deal. And this was a refinance, by the way, which, closing in 30 days, it's amazing. Actually, it was less than that. I think we closed in like 22. But you know, we, Hudson United, I don't have any fees for pre-approvals, nor do I get paid until the loan closes. We get paid out of the sale of that transaction by that lending institution. So trust me when I say I want the loan to close just as much as you do, and I'm going to stand there from start to finish until that ink is dried on the dotted line at your closing table. My services are free of charge, so please, you can give me a call at any time or shoot me an email if you want that consultation, or if you're interested in a pre-approval or refinance opportunity. But for now, I want to jump right in and talk about a little bit about networking, which is part of entrepreneurship as a mortgage broker, or networking in any aspect of entrepreneurship. This is a business that thrives on referrals and repeat business. So customer satisfaction and building relationships with not only the clients, but with the real estate brokers, title agents, attorneys, the real estate attorneys, the bank attorneys. This is the key to succeeding in the industry. This is the dream funnel of career originators. The only problem sometimes that I've kind of run into is that it takes a long time to develop a steady stream of referrals and relationships. So please be patient and keep on trucking, because I'm telling you, something will eventually stick. You just got to keep on plugging. And once it does finally stick and eventually stick, it will blossom into something wonderful. And that's when you'll start getting you'll develop your inner circle of people. You don't need 50 people giving you a business. You need 10 or 15 of a close net of people to constantly and continuously give you business. And you give them business in return. My biggest task, one of the biggest tasks besides building those relationships, which will develop over time, and once the trust is earned, is to win over the hearts of the realtors, the attorneys, and anybody else who are set in their ways and have been doing this for so long, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, um, to win over their hearts, because they have that inner circle. They have their preferred and trusted relationships. So my suggestion to those out there is to differentiate yourself somehow. Show them how you differentiate from others. Select a niche and develop the content that demonstrates your expertise. For example, master your VA loan product, or something along those lines in your field of entrepreneurship. Master the VA loans for servicemen and women. There are a lot of veterans out there who are unaware of the benefits that they can benefit from for providing service to our country. I mean, they have some great benefits for mortgages, which I'll be doing a segment in July, by the way, for VA loans, FYI. So tune in for that. You can master the renovation or construction loan, or FHA 203K loan. Maybe you want to master condos and co-ops and finance and do those. Find your niche, find something you're good at, and branch out from there. That's my suggestion. So, most of my business right now is through customer referrals, although I do have a small, close knit group of realtors and attorneys I work with who feed me business, and I return them business as well. I'll give them clients if they're not working with an agent, if they don't have an attorney, if they need a Spanish speaking attorney or something like that. I have some of these resources at my disposal to help them on their, put them on the right track. In this business, if you want to get something, you have to give something. You have to give if you want to get. It's plain and simple. You can't be the person who's going to get all the time, because eventually you're not going to get. People will stop getting. Oh, I'm giving everything to this guy, this girl, whoever, and I'm not getting anything in return. So, You got to give if you want. You got to give if you want to get. There are several avenues to take if you want to grow your business and get more clients. One way in the networking thing, you could join a BNI group or something similar of the sort, like I'm doing right now with Phoenix National. It's not a BNI group, but this is a way to promote yourself and branch yourself out. This was a great opportunity for me, and this is one of the best things. I'm so happy that I am a part of this group. You have no idea. Um, Sometimes, you can find a group similar to BNI that's not set by the goals and boundaries and restrictions of an actual BMI. There's no quotas to meet. So find something that you enjoy. Find something with a good group of people. You don't want to sit there with a bunch of stiffs. Nobody does. Find something with a group, an ambitious, energetic, personable group of people, and start your networking. Being in one of my so-called BNI groups, it's put me in touch with a lot of like-minded, business-driven men and women and individuals. So, doing this is part of entrepreneurship. It is a must. You have to do this. Remember, the key to a successful contact is the follow-up after having a one-on-one. You meet these people, you have a one-on-one, and you follow up with them. That is the key. Another way to sign up, another way for networking or gaining business is to sign up with maybe a lead generation, Zillow, Boomtown, Rate Plug, OpCity, if you're a mortgage broker like me or a realtor, and you can get leads. Sometimes you can sign up for free. Sometimes you might have to pay a small fee. It all depends on what you find and what's out there and what you're comfortable with as far as your finances. The absolute key to making yourself successful in this industry is to establish yourself as an authority. This helps to build trust with potential prospects. And if it's done well, this is also one of the ways to drive organic traffic to your business. When doing this, just make sure that when you get a lead, you call them right away. You don't wait 4 hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. You don't wait. You call them immediately. You don't call, go old school. All you millennials out there that don't like to leave messages, leave a message. That's what voicemail is for. That's what an answering machine is for, if those things even exist. Leave a voicemail. Follow up with an email immediately after, and send a text message. If you pick up, have the conversation. If they don't pick up, leave the message and call them back after working hours in the same day. Johnny on the spot. You got to be Johnny on the spot. After you speak with them and the conversation goes well, if they haven't provided you with what you need, like for me, I would want, if they're interested in a pre-approval, I need their income documents, I need their driver's license, and I have to run their credit and take an application. If I don't have those income documents and a driver's license, then I'm following up with a phone call, email, and text message. Sometimes I try to give them a little bit of motivation during that phone call. Hey, Mr. Doe, I have, usually the average turnaround time for a client to get me all their paperwork is like 5 to 7 days, about a week. Can you match that? Try to little reverse psychology there. Try to get those documents. But like I said, I will leave a message. I'll shoot a phone call. I'll shoot a text message, and I will send an email until I get a hold of somebody. Is there a certain time where you stop getting a hold of people? Yeah, you give up after a while, but you got to be persistent at first, and you got to drill it because but sometimes if you don't, I've heard from people months down the road where people are like, oh, I'm so glad you reached out, I'm so glad you put me in your CRM, and it kept sending me emails because I totally forgot your information, and now I'm ready. Somebody who wasn't ready 6 months ago is ready now. So maybe don't give up. But I mean, there have been times where you're going to run in and give up on somebody. Maybe they found an agent they work with, maybe they bought a house, maybe unforeseen circumstances happened, financial circumstances happened, and they aren't able to do a refinance or a pre-approval or whatever it may be. But be persistent, and don't wait when you get these leads. Follow up. The key is in the follow up. Develop your own follow up procedure and master your technique. Doing this with every single customer is crucial to being successful. Some other ways that you can perhaps get some business: maybe join your local chamber of commerce, attend trade shows, conferences, hosting live events like we're doing now, blogging, participating in online industry forums, maybe putting yourself out in a magazine ad, like a local magazine ad. If you have time, industry trade shows. I've done quite a few of these, where you set up a tent and you hand out your little business cards and pens and keychains and whatever with your name and your brand on it and your business information, and you give them out to people. Um, they're a great way to get exposure. They're a great way to get your business out there, to get your face out there, um, and to be in the middle of everything, so to speak. You know, these events are also filled with other experienced entrepreneurs and professionals who can help you succeed in your industry. So if you're working with a partner, one of you can man or woman the tent and walk around and go talk to all these people and get their information. So it's a good way to get yourself out there, but it's a good way to get other people's information and then follow up. The next thing I want to talk about is, as a mortgage broker, licensing. Ooh, this is big, 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 big. It should be noted that the rules and policies for obtaining a mortgage broker or real estate license differ among states and provinces, but you can always contact the NMLS, which is the nationwide mortgage licensing system and registry. And in order to find and you contact them in order to find out what those rules, policies, and requirements are for those particular states. They have all that information on all 50 states in America. I call America. So to be approved for an NMLS license, you must usually complete about 20 hours of pre-licensing training and education through an approved organization. There are quite a few of them out there. A lot of them, they're like video tutorials. I had to do this last year. Um, it took me literally, if you're taking notes and you're being as thorough as possible, literally it took me 5 days to complete this 20-hour thing. I sat at the kitchen table. I didn't go into work. I said, I'm not coming in the office until I'm done with my hours and my licensing. And it also includes this segment out of the 20 hours. It includes federal laws and regulations, about 3 hours of that, 3 hours on ethics, a couple hours on non-traditional mortgage products, and then you've got 12 hours of elective courses. Now, after that, you know, um, you must complete the NMLS test itself by passing with a 75% or more. I suggest studying for this, because no matter how prepared you are, you're not going to be prepared for that test. You're going to get hit, and you're going to get hit hard. It took me, I think they give you 4 or 5 hours, if I'm not mistaken, or 5 hours to complete the test. It took me 2 to sit there and complete 150 questions, maybe 2.5. I think I started around 12. I was done by 2 or 2:30. And uh, after that, you have to, if you want to get licensed in particular states, if you want to get licensed in another state, like I did with Jersey, Connecticut, Florida. I started in New York, but I wanted to branch out to New Jersey, Connecticut, and Florida as well. I had to do continuing education on those states as well. 2 hours for Connecticut, 3 hours for Jersey, and 1 hour for Florida, I think. Or maybe it's 2 for whatever. You get the point. So plan on that. If you every state, you're going to have to do your own education. What is the NMLS? NMLS is a web-based platform for regulatory agencies to administer initial license applications and ongoing compliance requirements. NMLS is used by participating agencies to process these applications for companies or individuals that are looking to apply, renew, surrender, or amend their licenses for various industries. It's used by mortgage lenders. It's used by mortgage loan originators, money transmitters, money services, including check cashing and currency exchange businesses, and more. On the specifications for each state, there's background checks. They're going to check your background, whether you're on your criminal record. If you have a criminal record, I can guarantee you that if you have any sort of financial fraud or crime, you are not going to get approved. They'll do credit checks. and fingerprinting. Some places will do electronic fingerprinting. Some states will do the old school ink method with all 10 fingers on your for your licensing. There are fees associated with this licensing. You got to pay for the classes, you got to pay for the test, you got to pay for your fingerprints, you got to pay the NMLS to get these licenses from the state. You've got to pay for renewals every single year. So the more states you have in your queue, the more you're going to be paying for every single year. So make sure that you're making the money so you can afford to continue to pay for your licensing. Um, Fees will be paid at the time the classes are taken and every single year afterwards, like I just said. So, one another thing about being in this industry as a mortgage broker or realtor, there are you have to take continuing education a certain number of hours every single year as well if you want to keep your license. And there's a deadline to complete all this. If you don't get all this stuff in by between November and like 2nd and December 31st, your license is expired come January 1st. You're done. You got to go through the whole process again. So it's very important to stay Johnny on the spot with your licensing and your continuing education. Um, the whole kit and caboodle. So, uh, folks, that is about it for today. I don't have anything, Phil. If there's any questions that somebody might have popped in the chat, please let me know. I want to thank those of you who are watching. There are some people I know who actually tuned in. Hi, Biljana. I want to say hi, Mom, Sue, Gina, anybody else, everybody that tuned in. I want to thank you for watching. If there are any questions, Phil, let me know in the next few seconds. Otherwise, I want to end with a nice quote during this networking thing. Folks, networking is about meeting people, and it's not where you go, it's who you meet along the way. Thank you again. Once again, I'm Richard Ciuzio with Hudson United Mortgage. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you.